So you see a lot of work out there, you see a lot of videos, a lot of pictures and things like that, and you are thinking and asking yourself, how did they do that? So we'll talk about softwares and show you what each of those softwares can do. So that will give you an idea of what software was used or can be used to do a particular thing. And at the end of the video, I will tell you how I use all of my softwares on my project. So first of all, let's talk about video editing software. Just like any video you are watching, it was edited with a software. You are watching a film, you are watching a music video and all things of that. They were cut together and edited with a software. And for that, there are softwares like Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut, and others. And now video editing softwares are becoming more powerful. They can do some basic graphics work, do some basic audio work. In your video editing software like Premiere Pro, you can also do your color grading and other things like that. But there are softwares dedicated for color grading. Mainly DaVinci Resolve is for color grading. And DaVinci Resolve is the industry standard color grading software. That is the best color grading software out there as at when this video was recorded. So if you want to be a video editor and you're looking for video editing software, we have DaVinci Resolve, we have Premiere Pro, we have Final Cut, and a lot of others. But the most popular editing software out there is Adobe Premiere Pro. And then we have photo editing and still graphics. Here are examples of photo editing, photo manipulations, photo retouching, beauty, and things like that. And then we have graphics, all the still graphics, flyers, posters, and things like that. In that category, we have Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Illustrator, and others. If you're a photographer and you're doing photo editing, photo manipulation, and things like that, then Photoshop will be your best weapon of choice. And if you're doing still graphics, poster, flyers, you will either go for CorelDRAW or Illustrator. So just like I said for others, make your research, choose one that best works for you. Personally, I use Photoshop and I can use it to achieve anything. Photoshop can also do graphics, Photoshop can do photo editing, Photoshop can do photo manipulation and things like that. I've been using it and I'm fine with it. So if I'm to recommend, I'll recommend Photoshop. But if you are solely into graphics, logo design and things like that, then I'll recommend Adobe Illustrator. And then we have 2D animation. 2D animation is not my area at all. Before, 2D animation was drawn by hand, frame by frame, but now there are softwares that can do them. I don't do 2D animation, so I don't know the popular softwares that I use there. I just went on Google, and Google gave me some names. We have OpenToonz, Pencil 2D, and I added Adobe Animate myself. Yeah, that used to come with After Effects until it was separated. So here, if I'm to recommend, I don't know what to recommend. Just go make your research and choose the best one that works for you. And then next we have compositing and graphics or motion graphics software. We won't go too much into details. In the future videos, we'll talk about all of those things. But what is compositing? Compositing is simply putting layers of assets together to present a final look. Things like VFX, motion graphics are done with these softwares. They all have their strengths and areas, but basically they do the same thing. So we have After Effects, we have Nuke, we have Fusion, and so many others. The industry standard is the Foundry Nuke, and the most popular one out there is Adobe After Effects. There's a lot you can do with After Effects. If I'm to recommend, I will recommend After Effects. Now I'm saying After Effects because that is what I use and that is what I'm most comfortable with. Definitely there are other ones like I've mentioned, Nuke, Fusion, and others. You can check them out, check for other ones that are not even mentioned, and choose the best for you. And then we have 3D. Wow, we have 3D motion graphics, 3D product design, which is my best area of 3D, and a lot of others. And then if you are watching a movie, you see a lion, an animal interacting with human and things like that, those things are achieved with 3D softwares. There are a lot of 3D softwares that are better than each other in a particular area, but basically they still all do the same thing. We have Blender, Maya, 3ds Max, Cinema 4D, which is my favorite. And that's what I use. Now, depending on what you are doing, you will choose the best software for you. If you want to do motion graphics, Cinema 4D is the best to use in that case because of the tools, and it is said to be the easiest 3D software to learn. And then if you want to do animations, Maya will be your weapon of choice. And currently, a lot of people are arguing that Blender meets up to the standard of Maya. So if you want to do animation, Maya and Blender are softwares to look into. And then if you are into architectural design and things like that, you should look into 3ds Max. 3ds Max can do a lot of things as well, but for architectural design, 3ds Max is still the best software to go for. All of these software will depend on what you want to do. Cinema 4D, Blender, you can also use them to do architect stuff, but they are not the best in that area. So just make your research, ask questions, and choose the one that best works for you. So depending on which one you do, there are a number of softwares you will use to achieve your work. Myself, I use Premiere Pro as my main editing software. That's what I use to put all my videos together, do my sound design, and things like that. And if I have still stuff to create, maybe like a still graphics or a photo to edit that I want to use in a video, I take it to Photoshop. I do all of my editing, my graphics, my photo manipulation, my retouching. I do all of that with Photoshop. And then if I want to do graphics like text animations, tracking, VFX and things like that, I do all of that with After Effects. And once I'm done with everything, I do my color grading with DaVinci Resolve. Now if I have any 3D thing to do, I use Cinema 4D. So as you can see, you do a lot of things and use different softwares for all of them, because one software cannot do everything. So you have to use different software to do your stuff and then bring them together at the end of the day. So those are the softwares. Make your research, see the ones that work best for you. Sometimes you start with a particular software and along the line you switch to another one. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you're creative and you're watching the video, please kindly drop in the comments the software you use for your projects. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.